You're watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Martinsville Speedway for the AOLL Guitar Addict TNT series. I'll be your host tonight, Larry Patrick, alongside Adam Wood. Man, Adam, how you doing tonight?
Fantastic, man. And I love being here in Martinsville and being up in the booth and not actually racing. It's a lot better watching other people try and survive here than actually being in the car.
That's a fair enough statement. Martinsville, very short track. Do you know the actual distance of Martinsville? Because offhand, I don't.
So Martinsville Speedway is a paperclip. There you go. Interesting fact tonight.
Well, and there's your interesting fact for the night. Normally, Randy comes with these facts. Randy not here tonight. He is on a gig, so we will not have the wonderful Scotland of Randy Pepper, but I'm back after missing last night, and Adam, back as always. I mean, you're pretty stellar about always making it, so should be a good race here tonight. Short track racing. Last time we've seen these guys, Bristol Motor Speedway. A lot of beating and banging around. Definitely made for an interesting race to call.
Yeah, so here's your facts, though. Really, though, it's a half-mile track. Total in length, it says, and the banking is 12 degrees, so not much banking there. It's just a little bit enough to carry just a little bit of speed, unlike New Hampshire, which sucks totally. That's just my opinion. Joe out there is probably going to yell at me because he loves New Hampshire and the flat banking it provides.
Well, that's always a thing, right? So, let's see. Oh, there it went. I don't know why that changed on me. Very odd. Random changes happen on me, man, and when it does, it throws me for a loop. So
right now we got out there in the field, we got Cody Leland, who's hanging on to the fastest car on the track right now with a 20.77. And John Gordon's right behind him with a 20.79, and he's tied with Carl Henderson with a 20.79 as well. Nick Adams is running fourth, and then Josh Laston is fifth. So the first response and all of the CCR boys are running up there in the top five, except for Chris Oliver. He's back in seventh. So we got Timothy St. Jean. He is in sixth. Christopher Oliver's in seventh. Sean Carmody is in eighth. Ninth is Blake Pasta. 10th is Hitman Manzo. He's making his appearance. We haven't seen him out here in a while.
No.
11th right now on the charts is Joshua Mays and Tom Stevens, David DeParis, and Dave Wright in 14th. That's all we got right now showing up tonight out there running. We got 14 drivers. Pretty good, decent field here from this TNT series.
Yeah, and you're right. We haven't seen Philip Manzo in a good while.
Hitman has not graced us in a while, so it's good to see him back on the track out here tonight. Let's see if he'll actually run. We got a few people that come out every so often, and they run some practice, and I don't think they feel comfortable enough. They don't want to run, and they just go ahead and exit out for the night and don't run with us, which they should.
Agreed, 100%, man. Agreed. And this is going to be one of those races. It's going to be a challenging race for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, so the big challenges here at Martinsville, like, oh man, I'm just watching the teammates take each other out. Josh Laston's just dumped Carl Henderson. Is your braking points? Everybody's got a different braking field. Everybody puts their braking bias at a certain point. Some people want to dive a little bit deeper and then brake harder, and then some people want to brake a little bit sooner so they can get the car totally rotated and then get back on the power sooner to have a better drive down the next straightaway. But I mean, it's like, you just get back up on underneath your full power, then you got to come off. It's Martinsville is one of those tracks that it's a rhythm track. You have to get into it because, I mean, you're on the power, you're off the power, on the power, off the power.
Yeah, and it's like you said, rhythm. So everybody's driving styles are different. Some people, like you said, they want to run it a little bit deeper into that corner, which is going to require that braking power to get that car stopped because you're going into that corner a little bit faster. But when guys do that, what do you see that affecting as far as their straightaway speed?
So, I mean, it's all about your exit. You have to have a great exit. So the middle of the corner off is where you're trying to lay down some of the power here at Martinsville. And if you brake a little bit too hard, your center of your turn might be pushed a little bit higher than you wanted to, which won't give you a great exit. But you don't get that much of a break here, though, as well from the other people. I mean, there's no drafting. There's nothing out of the norm. You're going to have to wait until that person really messes up in front of you unless you're going to, stick your nose and, like, kind of have to out-brake them going into the corner there to actually get by them cleanly.
Yeah, absolutely. Practice is done now. This guy's getting ready to take off for some qualifying. Carl Henderson actually took the fastest there in practice. So a little shake up there. He just jumped ahead of Cody Leland.
Yeah, I mean, this track is all tricky. I mean, you can run a fast lap, one lap, the next lap, you're like 3 or 4 tenths slower. It's all about your entries and exits and getting that center runoff. I mean, I've ran, I think, 3 or 4 Martinsville races recently, and the only time I've ever made up position was due to other people's failures. I don't remember really out-powering, out-muscling anybody else or really out-driving anybody. It was just me, just, waiting for nutrition and other people to make mistakes, and that's how I got by everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, Nick Adams, he's on the track. We're just kind of taking a look at him real quick. He gets a little bit wide of the wall. Now he's taking his first. Oh, no, that was his first lap. Excuse me. A 21.31 for his first lap. David Wright comes in with a 21.23, though.
Yeah, let's see. I'll look at Timothy St. Jean. He's just cruising right now. Going into 1 and 2 right now on his first lap. Let's see, what does he lay down? Still waiting for his numbers to populate right now. I got Carl Henderson takes over. Timothy St. Jean locks his tires up just a little bit. Timothy St. Jean moves up in the 3rd place with a 20.96.
Sean Carmody just came in with a 28.3, taking over pole.
John Gort moves up in the 3rd spot there with a 20.89. Timothy St. Jean just makes a huge jump with a 20.86 up to 2nd spot there. Right now, we still haven't seen anything from Cody Leland, Tom Stevens, or David DeParis. I think Christopher Oliver's out on track right now, and Hitman Manzo's out there. First lap out, Christopher Oliver runs a 21.07. Then he slides coming out of turn 2 there.
A little slick out there. And that's going to be one thing, these cars getting around this track without sliding around. I mean, I know these cars are fun to drive, great to drive, but you can kind of overpower coming out of these corners.
Yeah, right now we got Cody Leland. He was up there had the top line for the longest until the end. Let's see what he can put down. Alright, he's going in turn 3 now. Look like a great launch there, turn 4. See, first lap is P6. He runs wide there and coming out of 1 and 2.
And he could be just right now. He did not as
No.
not as far into that corner there, huh? So that might hinder his speed. But that lap right there, 21.52 is going to be his best. So he's going to be 6th. And right now, Tom Stevens, David DeParis, neither one have qualified. So that might do it for qualifying here tonight. If you can hear my kids in the background right now screaming. All right. That looks like that is going to do it right now. We got about 45 seconds left here in qualifying. Wow. Well, we got a second. Like I said, Martinsville, it's going to be an exciting race here. These guys should be, nose to tail, really up on each other. And I expect a little bit of bumping coming around these corners, which is going to upset these cars.
Yeah, I mean, the ARCA cars here, you can get upset pretty quickly, though. I mean, you got the nose can just jam up underneath the rear bumper there and can really spin these cars out. So they're going to have to be careful and know exactly where the car's at all times, especially with, like I said, everybody else's braking pattern is going to be different from what yours is. So, you got to stay alert and stay alive so you don't destroy the car in front of you and don't destroy yours.
Yeah, absolutely. And these cars, like you said, the nose kind of falls off on the front of these cars. So it's really, I don't want to say it's hard to really gauge where the car in front of you is, but it is a little bit difficult.
We'll see how these guys react to everything.
Absolutely. And let's go ahead. Let's stack them up here. Your top qualifier in row 1, Sean Carmody next to Tim St. Jean. In row 2, Carl Henderson next to Blake Ziti. And in row 3, John Gordon, Cody Leland. Row 4, Josh Lassen, Chris Oliver. Row 5, Nick Adams, Dave Wright. In row 6, Joshua Mays and Philip Manzo. And in row number 7, David DeParis and Tom Stevens, who did not qualify. So we'll see if they grid up here.
See, yeah, change my cameras around. Floppy there. They're on the track. They just chose not to qualify. They're going to be at the back.
And nothing wrong with that. And sometimes, especially with these shorter tracks, that's not a bad strategy. You kind of expect some issues early, cold tires and then on a short track.
See, I mean, like everybody's paint jobs this week. Only one, I haven't seen Hitman Manzo here for a while. So, I mean, looking at he's always got an interesting paint scheme for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Cars now pacing around. Again, should be a fun race. Martinsville Speedway's 100 laps and the AOLL Guitar Addict TNT series. Tomorrow night, we should be back with the podcast. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Adam.
Yes, we're going to be back with the podcast. It's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of people there. It's going to be interesting. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Sonoma race on Tuesday night in the IVRL. We had last night's Pocono. We got tonight's Martinsville on Sunday. We're moving into Charlotte in the AOLL Cup Series.
And heard a wild finish last night in Pocono, which unfortunately we were not there to broadcast due to my illness.
It was just unforeseen circumstances there at the end. And we'll talk about that tomorrow night a little bit more.
Here we go. Pace car coming around. Lights are off. Comes off. And Sean Carmody will lead us to the green flag. 100 laps. Martinsville Speedway in the AOLL Guitar Addict TNT series.
Green flag's in there. Sean Carmody gets a good jump. Timothy St. Jean staying right with him. Sean clears him a little bit. Timothy comes up in the middle. We got some double wide right behind him. Carl Henderson's running side by side with Blake the Pasta Man right there. Carl Henderson dives it deep. I don't think Timothy St. Jean was expecting that. I think he thought he was going to have a clear entrance there, but Carl stuck his nose in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And right there, as you see, Carl Henderson getting a good run. He's fighting here for second, coming out of turn 2. But Sean Carmody opening up a nice little gap here on the rest of the racers, as now Cody Leland looks to take the spot away from Tim St. Jean. It looks like that low line might be the key to this race tonight.
Yeah, the outside line is definitely getting freight train right there. Timothy St. Jean just went from 2nd to 4th, so he's not a fan of the outside lane. Right behind that, you got John Gordon, who is not letting in his teammate of Blake Ziti. He's trying to stick him to the outside right now. And finally, Blake Ziti was able to drop down. John Gordon got his nose almost all the way up underneath him in that corner. And looked like he was going to give him a little bump there, but was able to break him before that.
Yeah, just behind them, you've got CCR, 3 cars behind them with Josh Lassie, Chris Oliver, and Nick Adams. And these guys are going to put the pressure right here on these Endeavor cars.
Yeah, and then following back, I mean, right now everybody's still single file. There's not really much passing or action right now going on. I'm trying to go through the field. Josh Laston got to the back bumper of John Gordon right there coming out of turn 2, I believe. And yeah, he's trying to make up for him. I mean, he's got his Christopher Oliver right behind him. He wants to get by as well. So, I mean, everybody's stacked up, but there's just nowhere to go. By the time you get that momentum, you got to start hitting the brakes.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, again, super short track here. Sean Carmody, he's got a roughly around 1.5, 2 car length lead over Carl Henderson, as Carl trying to chase down the leader right now as they come across stripe. 7 laps complete. I want to say that this looks like a completely different league than we've seen last week over at Bristol.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 dynamics. I mean, Bristol was a fast-paced short track, whereas this is a slow pace, in my opinion. I mean, you have that little fast little spurt, but you're heavy on the brakes. I mean, Bristol, you're really not really that big on the brakes. You're just off the accelerator. Here, you have to get in a really good rhythm to get off the accelerator, hit the brakes, time it just right, get back on the gas. So, I mean, you're more focused on that, whereas Bristol, you're more focused on just wide open throttle on most around the track, except for a little bit of that off time in the accelerator in the middle of the corners.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, Cody Leland, he's all over the back of the 31 of Carl Henderson. But as you see right there, coming out of turn 2, Carl was able to open up just to get a little bit of a gap on Cody Leland.
Yeah, these guys are, and like I said, I mean, by the time you get to somebody's rear bumper to try to make a move, you can't. Everybody's protecting that lower lane going in the corners. You cannot. I won't say cannot, but it's hard to make the outside lane work to make a pass. You're going to need some ailing tires where the guy's not driving, the car's not driving anymore, and he's just protecting it and blocking you basically. So that's the only way you're going to really make that outside lane work, in my opinion. So you're going to have to fight hard here to stay and not make a mistake.
Stevens. Caution's out.
Got a little front damage there on the front left.
Take a look here. Head through the corner just behind Philip Manzo. Tom Stevens, he's just going to get sideways and go straight down to that inside wall. Single car wreck.
See, it says Dave Wright crashed. I don't know if he just...
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it as well. A little brush on the wall there. Oh, he did. He got sideways, spun. Does a decent job of staving it. Hey, he's able to keep it off the wall there. He crashed again, so let's take a look. I believe that's just sort of slowing down.
Sparking there, hitting a little apron.
All right, well, so far we have your leader still Sean Carmody. Hey, partner, while we got a second, let's go ahead and take a quick break and hear from one of our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Randy from the Guitar Attic. Can we be serious for a second? Are you tired of being a loser? Can't do anything right? Feel like everyone's coming down on you all the time? Well, there's a way out, and I'm going to show you. Hey Mom, look what I learned. That's right, pick up a guitar, learn how to play guitar. Automatically you're going to become a chick magnet.
The ladies are gonna love you. Your kids are gonna think you're cool. So what you need to do is come down here to the Guitar Addict, 16725 Ridgewood Avenue in Daytona Beach, Florida, or go to guitaraddict.com and buy yourself a guitar and automatically be the star of your neighborhood. That's guitaraddict.com.
And we're back after hearing from Randy Pepper there at the Guitar Attic in Florida, who, again, playing a gig here tonight. So, unable to join us. Adam, do you know if he'll be with us tomorrow night?
I'm not sure. I know he's out there looking for a good dentist right now, so I'm not sure what he's doing. If you guys need to know anything, go to Randy Pepper's page. He's looking for a dentist. He put a recommendation. If you know this person and you've ever had dental work, let him know, man. He's looking forward to see if this person's any good.
Fantastic. That was fantastic. Right now,
man.
Car's starting to get 2x2, as Randy would say, lug nut to lug nut, door handle to door handle. And we're going to go back racing here. 16 laps completed out of 100. So far, Sean Carmody continues to be your leader. Carl Henderson riding in second. Now, as we discussed earlier, nobody really wants to be on that outside line as the pace car drops off. So we're going to see how quick these guys try to shoot to get back down to that bottom part of that racetrack.
If you're in the third position like Cody is, you're going to have to kind of hug Sean's rear bumper so Carl doesn't dive down.
And we're back green flag racing. As you've seen, Sean Carmody gets a great jump, but that allowed Cody Leland now to get on that inside of Carl Henderson. And Carl Henderson going to lose another spot. And just behind him, the 50, but he was able to sneak down there on that back stretch.
Yeah, you see, Carl had to dive it down there. You see, he rotated through that corner way too much. Was able to woe it down to get back down that without spinning out.
Hey, you see right now, there's a fight right now. Josh Laston, the inside of Tim St. Jean. That's for position. Now here comes the 14. He will get to the inside of Tim St. Jean, and he's going to look to try to keep Tim St. Jean on that outside line and keep shuffling him backwards.
Yeah, Josh Laston locked up the tires just a little bit there in front of these guys. Probably scared Timothy St. Jean just a little bit, seeing the tire smoke and him being on the outside.
And St. Jean was able to get back down. Carl Henderson right now, he's got his hands full of the number 50, Blake Ziti.
We have a caution out on the track.
Ah, yes.
Tom Stevens again.
Excuse me. And just locks up the tires there, getting into the corner. It gets him sideways and unable to save it. Slides to the outside wall.
Or if he just got a little nervous there, because Nick Adams in front of him locked it up, so maybe he was coming in and saw Nick lock it up a little bit, and he just locked it up in fear of what was happening in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny, appreciate it, man. Just getting over this 4-day sickness. I would like to be known. I tested negative for COVID-19. It would have been kind of ironic, considering that I am vaccinated, if I would have tested positive. But
hey, watch out! Hey, we don't need a disclaimer on this show. It's going to be underneath it now. We're going to have the Facebook warning underneath this broadcast now because you said the magic word.
Oh yeah. I should have said that disease, right? Just that one.
Yeah.
That's how we'll refer to it now. That one. But I'm feeling much better. Slight headache, but I think all systems are good to go for the rest of this week. I think I might actually. Originally, I wasn't going to do tomorrow night, but I think I'm feeling up to it. I might be all right.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time tomorrow night on the podcast. And we just gotta get together, figure out who we're gonna bring on tomorrow night for all the different leagues.
And I was going to mention that earlier, but my head's in 20 different areas, and I completely forgot to.
Yeah, well, we have an off week, kind of figure it and get out of rhythm. So Johnny says an ugly virus is going around right now. We don't want to mention anything. Well, like I said, I don't want this broadcast to be flagged or some type of statement below it.
Disclaimer.
Just a little disclaimer. You got fact checkers out there like, I heard one little tiny thing in this whatchamacallit. This meme had something on it. Let's put a fact check on it. We don't need that on us. But hey, but these guys are put on a show tonight. I mean, we just got Tom Stevens. I mean, he locked it up right there. But it's so far all solo stuff, so it's kind of good. These guys up front, they're battling hard but battling clean. They're knowing where the car is at and not really locking up, but breaking in time and getting the cars rotated. So it's good to see. The thing now, though, is can Cody do anything on that second place, or will he get freight trained to the back?
Yeah, and I think that's going to be key to the finish of this race, right? So the restart is going to be huge, but at the exact same time, I mean, you can't. The way the restarts are done, it's hard to get around the leader on the bottom side heading into turn one. So do you chance that, or do you do everything you can to try to let the leader get out in front of you, get down, and then do a crossover move coming out of turn two?
It's hard to do a crossover here. I mean, you just don't carry the speeds that you need for a crossover because everybody hugs that bottom line. There's no second groove that actually works here. The banking's too flat to make a second groove work. So it's kind of hard to do that crossover move that is famous on basically every other track but New Hampshire in this one.
Well, we're back to green flag racing. It's Cody Leland. He's able to get down to that bottom side there and get behind Sean Carmody, so he's going to retain that second spot. Carl Henderson now running third, but here comes John Gordon. He's on the inside of his teammate Blake Ziti. That's going to allow
Blake Ziti hits him a little bit.
But they tied.
Timothy St. Jean is into Christopher Oliver. They all get straightened out. A little bit of sheet metal damage on about four different cars
caution. And no caution right there. Unbelievable. And they're back rolling.
Yeah, there was quite a few people right there banging off the doors going there. Christopher Oliver just gave Tim the tip just a little bit going there out of turn 4.
We're trying to take a quick look at that, but apparently our system's not going to make it quick on me. So we're going back to the racing.
So right now, Sean Carmody still got about a 1, 2, 3, 4 car length over Cody Leland. And I think Cody's got about a 6 or 7 car length right now over Carl Henderson. And then to John Gordon's all over Carl Henderson right now. He's waiting for Carl to make any type of mistake. That's how close he is.
And as fast as, I mean, he was the fastest one in practice, so it makes you wonder, is Carl conserving tires right now? Is he playing the long game here as opposed to that short game? Because we do know, I mean, I believe these guys had to make a pit stop tonight.
Yeah, I know the CCR guys, their practice strategy is they run it until they can't go anymore, either fuels or tires. So, they know exactly what it takes for tires here, what it's going to feel like. So, I don't know, Carl could be conserving, or he could, just still trying to figure out how to run around other people in race traffic. I mean, running your lawn in practice all night long with people on different tire strategies and you coming out of pits, doing hot laps is one thing, but actually being in the race itself is a whole different animal, especially here at Martinsville.
Yeah, and as you see,
John Gordon makes a little tap right there.
Yeah, he did. He gave him a little bit of the tip there, and they got Carl Henderson just a little bit loose, but Carl was able to keep composed, and he gave him a little bit of a gap.
That let Josh Laston come up into this little group here. So Josh Laston's running in 5th right now. Let's see. Let's check some battles in the back. So we got Timothy St. Jean's catching Blake Ziti. Christopher Oliver still on his back door. So they're all together. Nick Adams is hanging in there. And it's probably about 10 cars back to Hitman. It's Philip Manzo. Josh LeMay's a little bit further back than that. And then followed by David DeParis and Dave Wright and Tom Stevens.
And there was Tim St. Jean. He was taking a look there on that inside. but he just got flat out broke by the number 50 Blake Ziti. I don't know if I even said that correctly. But hey, we're taking a look here at our leader right now, almost a 2-second lead, and he is setting sail out front right now. That mellow yellow number 40 looking great out tonight.
Ooh, John Gordon was loose coming off the corner right there. Josh Laston wasn't able to capitalize, but John Gordon putting the power down coming out of the corner there, just couldn't do it. Josh Laston, same right there. The back tires are fading on him.
Sorry, hey, Adam, take a look at the comments when you get a chance. John Gordon slides into the wall there just a little bit, and he right now, you see, he's kind of moved up out of that preferred low line, so Josh Laston, he's taking a peek there on that inside.
Yeah. Tammy out there said that John was rubbing him in all the wrong places. Yeah, he was. Carl needs to pick up the pace. Oh, man. So, as you can see on the track map right there, I mean, we're focusing on some battles here and there, but you can see the gap between the first and second there. On it, you know, 40, Sean Carmody, he's got a little bit of a gap over our second place, Cody Leland. And then Carl Henderson, he's a little bit further back than that. And then it's like a whole entire tight pack right there through the corner.
Yeah, and right now, as you stated, partner, they are a little bit spread out throughout the field. So right now, I mean, it's calm. We're like 40 of 100 in, and it's rather calm out here at Martinsville. Not much close racing. I mean, the closest battle we've got going right now is Tim St. Jean and Blake Ziti, but that battle's to a four-driver battle as Chris Oliver and Nick Adams are starting to come into focus here.
Yeah, the 6th through 9th there, Blake Ziti, Tim St. Jean, Chris Oliver, and Nick Adams, they're all running really close to each other. And I was just watching Nick a second ago. I mean, he's got his hands full. I'm watching the steering wheel go left, right, left, right. He's sawing at it, trying to get this thing going straight off the corners.
Yeah, as you see that, again, everything's just kind of spread out. Your leader right now, the number 40, Sean Carmody, followed by the number 75, Cody Leland. Just behind him, we see the 31, Carl Henderson. John Gordon running in 4th with Josh Laston in 5th. In 6th, we've got Blake Ziti, but hot on his tail is Tim St. Jean, our friendly neighbor of the north, and then behind him, Chris Oliver. In 9th, Nick Adams, who's rebounding from earlier mistake. And then in 10th, we got Philip Hitman Manzo. In 11th, we got Joshua Mays, who's closed up to Philip Manzo. He's looking to try to make a move here. And then David Wright runs in 12, or excuse me, David DeParis runs in 12. Just behind him, that battle's heating up as number 13, Dave Wright, is catching him. And then Tom Stevens,
Look in the mirror though of the cars right here on the tail end of the lap. They got Sean Carmody right there. Let's see how well does he get through this lap traffic. Will Cody Leland be able to gain some ground here?
When you see the 86 moves out of the way, that's going to allow the 40 to get up underneath him. But right there, you've got the 43 and you got the 9 side by side coming through this
43
corner.
brakes hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 40 and their 43 moves down. That's going to allow the 40 to get out of to get around him, and then he comes down, shoots down up underneath the 9. He will clear that lap traffic. But now Cody Leland's got to do the same thing.
Cody Leland drops down below David DeParis there in the 86. 86 is giving plenty of room. Tom Stevens is running up there in the rubber. Is running way up there.
And the 43,
Cody Leland's around.
Underneath. No, that was the 43, Dave Wright, as he hit the brakes into that corner. Cody Leland smacked inside of him, and that spun him around.
Yeah, Cody looked like he tried to avoid that.
Also showing into an incident here, John Gordon. We're going to take a quick look at that. Oh, he got a little sideways there. Straightened it out. And then here's the incident with Dave Wright and Cody Leland.
Yeah, Dave he just breaks way too early compared to everybody else. I think he's just being more conservative. And Cody Leland was just trying to take the inside line since Tom Stevens was taking the very high line. And the way Cody was braking was way different than what Dave Wright was doing. So, I mean, they were on huge different braking patterns there, and Cody just didn't have any place to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, right now, we are halfway through this race, lap 50 of 100. While we got a second, let's go ahead and take a listen to one of our sponsors.
The AOLL Racing League began racing in the early 90s with Papyrus's NASCAR Racing and has grown over the decades, now racing on the iRacing platform. The AOLL has 3 divisions: the TNT Series Developmental Division for our beginners and those getting back into racing, the Cup Series for our veterans and Class A licensed drivers, the Sportsman Division racing the Gander outdoor trucks with drivers from the TNT and Cup Series. You can catch all of the AOLL action here on Ghostfire Media.
All right, and then we're back here, lap 51 of 100 at Martinsville Speedway. Right now, Sean Carmody's showing the class of the field. He's led every lap so far, Adam.
Yeah, Sean Carmody's getting a heck of a jump. And, I mean, the only way you're really passing like you've seen tonight is either on restarts or when somebody makes a mistake, and it's still hard to capitalize when somebody makes a mistake. I mean, John Gordon was really loose off the corner there, but Josh Laston wasn't in place, like he wasn't hugging on his back bumper to make up that spot. So, I mean, they're really going to have to either hit the wall or spin out, basically, to make a pass here from what we're seeing tonight so far.
Yeah, and again, how many guys right now are conserving tires? Not that, I mean, these guys haven't made a pit stop yet, and eventually we're going to see somebody. The times, to me, in practice, they weren't, even right now, the best times aren't that far off, actually. Your fastest on the track with the best time is a 28.5 from Carl Henderson. But everybody else from first down to 6 are in the 29 or 20.9s. So, I mean, right there, your top 6 are rather close there in fastest laps.
We have to pay attention to it, you know, about 3 or 4 laps into the next one after they all kind of separate and get single file to see exactly, you know, on their best laps what they're running now to see if, you know, tires would be worth it at this point.
And pace car is off, and Sean Carmody's going to lead us back here to another green flag and gets a nice jump coming there out of turn 4, and that's going to allow him to clear Cody Leland, and that's going to allow Cody Leland to get down here in front of Carl Henderson.
Yeah, Cody got a heck of a jump there. He didn't stay with him, but he got enough of a jump up in front of everybody else. He's got like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh man, Carl, he breaks deep in that corner and was able to take up some of those car lengths I was just counting.
And right there, John Gordon was able to get down in front of Josh Laston. So your top 6 right now, no change. Actually,
we got a caution back on the
7.
track. Tom Stevens is around again. He hits the curb.
Yes, and then gets sideways, brushes the inside wall.
And then,
Gets back, comes down. Oh, David Wright. Oh, nice braking by David Wright, able to avoid that. Oh, and then Tom Stevens into the wall.
I think Tom said he's had enough. He's going to jump in the pits.
Back under caution here, and we have somebody in the pits. That's the 19.
And the number 6 of Timothy St. Jean.
Yeah, 2 of the Wiley veterans in the pits.
So while we were there, I looked at it on that first lap went through. They were running about a 21.4. they're about 4/10 off. It's not that bad after, about 55 laps here.
Right here, you're seeing John Gordon. He is getting 4 tires and fuel. Tim St. Jean also getting 4 tires and fuel. John Gordon away, Tim St. Jean away, and they're back on the track. John Gordon did not like that green cone and gives it a little love tap.
Nobody likes that green cone.
Lap 58 out of 100 here at Martinsville Speedway in the AOLL Guitar Addict TNT series. As Adam mentioned earlier, tomorrow night, Ghostfire Media, the podcast, is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch the crew, talk everything IVRL and AOLL. And then on Sunday, the Cup guys head to Charlotte, which I caught that race Friday night there at Charlotte, the truck race. What a race that was, man. That was awesome. That track is sweet. It's a good-looking track.
It's going to be a heck of a race. We did the, I think, 375 miles last week in the IVRL, so I'm looking forward to it this Sunday. I'm glad we're not at Sonoma like where I was at on Tuesday night.
Yeah, you got to love road courses, man. And these cars pacing around. Where's IVRL at on Tuesday night, Adam?
So Tuesday night we're going to have an all-star race in the IVRLs. Right now there's quite a few drivers, including myself, that's locked into the all-star race. They're going to have 4 races prior to the all-star race. The winner of each race will get into the main show, and there will be a fan vote. I shared a post earlier today on Ghostfire Media's page from the IVRL Butt Kicker series. If you guys follow it, you have a favorite driver, go out there and like their post and like your favorite driver's car. Get them voted into the all-star race.
Yeah, that is how you are getting the guys that don't have the win, that right now don't qualify. They are doing it by vote, so let's get those votes.
All right, Sean Carmody lines up. Cody Leland's on the outside. Let's see here, coming off. Sean Carmody takes off. Cody Leland does not get a great start, but was able to clear Carl Henderson going into turn 1.
Carl Henderson
sideways. He locks it up and hits the inside wall. Keeps going there. 3 wide coming out of turn 2.
I don't know how much he locked those up. I believe he was going in. There it is. A little bit of love back to the 50. I believe the 50 got in the back of him.
Well, we will go back and see that.
Let's see here. Let's scroll back from that right there, that incident. Let's take a look. We're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way because...
oh, no. If you click on the Blake Ziti passes Josh Slaston one, that it has it right there.
Yeah, well, we got it right there. We're going to get a better view than what we're at right now. So let's go with the nose of the car, and let's see. Head into this corner here. Oh, yeah, he got way up underneath him there. Got Carl a little loose. And then we switch over to Carl Henderson here. And then he gets up underneath him. And I don't know how much that was intentional, maybe intentional, possibly intentional, maybe not intentional. That could be just right there, the difference in braking zones that we just seen.
I mean, sometimes, it's on a restart. Everybody's trying to get every position they can. They don't want the outside lane to get it, to dive down underneath them, to take the spot between them because they're going to get freight train on the outside. So it could have been just a missed brake zone and got underneath them. There probably wasn't a quick reply of my bad because underneath that tense situation, and looks like Carl decided he wasn't too happy, so he let him know.
Well, we could have told, we would have been able to tell if Carl wasn't happy by how red his forehead got if we could see Carl. But again, and that could have just been one of the things. It could have just been difference in braking zones for both of them. So, we can only purely speculate as Carl Henderson now heading down pit row as Blake Ziti has already been on pit road. So it'll be interesting to see how this transpires. These guys will be next to each other once again.
Yeah, they're heading down pit road. They're going to go to the back. It's going to restart in 12th spot. Right now we have 2 cars a lap down. Dave Wright, Tom Stevens.
And just know that this race, I can't guarantee. I'm assuming these guys need pit stops. We've already seen this should be the 4th car here take their pit stop. That hasn't, well, I mean, these guys have been in incidents, but these guys, were running up front, take their pit stops. Could this be an advantage for them? Because if that's the case and they do have to pit, the rest of the field still has to come down. The only guys ahead of them that's pitted would be, I would assume, Josh Mays, Phil Manzo, I believe, David DeParis, I believe, John Gordon for sure, and Tim St. Jean.
The only 3 that haven't pitted was so far is Sean, Cody, and Josh. Those are the only 3 that have not had a pit stop yet so far.
Thank you. Not gonna lie, you could have just interrupted me and told me that. These guys are lined back up here, and we're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here. Pace car is off, and we are back racing. Sean Carmody with another great jump as he heads into turn 1. That's going to allow Cody Leland to get down there, but here comes the 14. Chris Oliver blows that corner. He's going to end up by the wall, lose a couple spots there. Able to get off that
4
wall
spots.
and come down.
5 spots. Hitman's on the outside of him.
Inside.
Oh, we got a caution back there. I see Joshua Mays and Carl Henderson around.
Oh, and more wrecking. Here we go. We're taking a look. Carl Henderson. Brakes coming to this corner. Oh, Josh Mays kind of hopped that that turtle there and hit Carl Henderson and spun Carl. And then just after that, we see Tim St. Jean in the 19 as Tim St. Jean tries to come down to get away from Carl Henderson, or excuse me, Nick Adams, and then they get together and spin around. The 6 gets back going there. Wow.
I think Tim St. Jean. I think he he thought he had a run and didn't know John Gordon was there when they go underneath there, and they just kept getting hooked there. It looked like they couldn't get off each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. I think, and then not to mention, I mean, you see John Gordon come back up, if I'm thinking correctly. And when he came up, I mean, they just touched each other and went around, and I don't think anything intentional there.
I think just kind of once the cars hit each other, you bounce and then try to react to it, and when they did, it just kind of brought them back together and kind of glued them, and that just kind of sent. You saw what the result of it happened.
And I think right now the big storyline here. Carl Henderson, who's been running up front, your fastest in practice, right now running in 10th position after 2 incidents.
Yeah, we're on lap 70 here, so I mean he's only got 30, probably about 28 laps or so. Once we go back green to try to make up some of these spots, and as you can tell tonight, it's hard to make up spots under green. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on him as we watch the battles up front unfold as well, to see if Carl Henderson's going to battle his way back up. And him and Blake Zede both. Blake Zede's only 2 spots ahead of him right there, and 8. So on this restart, it's going to be Blake Zede in row 4 and Carl Henderson row 5 on the outside.
Drama here at Martinsville. But short track racing, you always expect a little bit of temper flare at one point from somebody.
Yeah, and you have that. I mean, but you go back to the good old Denny Hamlin, with his little shrug shoulders going, it's just short track racing.
I completely agree with that, and that's definitely something that, this league in particular wants, the racing to be clean, try to stay off each other and race each other with a lot of respect, stuff like that. But when it comes to short tracks, you're going to get short track racing, and as much as you don't want to catch an attitude, you probably will, because it's short tracks. When you're getting bumped and banged and everywhere all the time, it will crawl up under your skin at some point.
And these cars are a little bit harder and finicky whenever they do get bumped. It's not a square bump in the back. It lifts their back rear tires up if you get doing that. So it's not really a true bump in the run. It's kind of you lift up the back tires, let them spin when they hit.
Oh, Cody Leland wrecks. Right there on the start, he spins the tires.
Caution is back out on the track.
He takes off here, spins the tires, gets loose, comes down, chops the nose on the 18, and he ends up in the inside wall.
Yeah, we saw that. I can't remember what series that was, but I did a Martinsville race where that exact same thing happened. I'm not sure if it was either AOLL or IVRL, but somebody up front in the pack did the exact same thing right there. I think it might have been IVRL. It might have been my good old buddy Harvey, if I'm remembering now. But you know, you're putting all that power down, trying to get everything she got, and she gave him a little bit too much.
And what cautions breed cautions. 74 laps. We are almost 3/4 of a way through this race here tonight. Under caution once again.
Well, we're saying that we're watching Carl Henderson. He was 10th, and Blake was 8th. Now they're both 6th and 8th respectively. Blake had moved up to 6th, and Carl Henderson sitting in 8th.
As we see the car slow down, let the pace car get by. Back under caution here at Martinsville.
Our software system did not like that. It said everybody on the track was wrecked. Everything is red on our screens, like blowing up, like everybody's dead.
I seen that, and that was an entertaining moment there. Cody Leland now, he's going to come in, grab him a fast repair, grab him 4 tires and fuel. He'll be good for the end of the race, and I'm sure we'll see him charge hard, especially once those tires start coming back around.
And it's just how is he going to be able to? And that's the key right now. We don't have that many laps here. I mean, it says 25 laps to go, but 25 laps, as you can tell, it goes by really quick here on this short track. We got 20-second laps, and lately they've been all under the caution.
And what do you say? How do you do this? Very carefully.
Yeah, I mean, you in this position, you're going to try and outbrake the person on the outside of you. You're going to try and do whatever it takes, but you got to do it cleanly. I know you might have got spun, or you're the spunny, and now you're at the back, and you got to work your way through. You can't get frustrated. You can't get upset. You can't get out on somebody else, but you want to get back up there. So it's kind of like, one of those hard things to do here, especially at Martinsville.
And we see, though, obviously we've got 14 drivers on the track. And when these guys start getting, that's only 7 rows of vehicles, So when you think about it in hindsight, coming through a caution, it doesn't seem that far back. You only got about, 6 rows of cars in front of you and the leader.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that far, but once you start getting spread out here in Martinsville, it seems like an eternity.
Absolutely. Pace car is off. We are about to go back green flag racing. Sean Carmody leading them once again, and he will take off. Nick Adams now spins the tires, gets a little loose there. We're able to regain it, but that's going to open up the door for Josh.
Oh, there, Nick Adams is around. Caution is out.
Caution, breeding cautions.
I think the caution should have been thrown for that one. Nick Adams.
It is out. It is out.
Oh, it is. I'm saying I don't think it should have been. Nick Adams barely touched the wall with his rear end there and was able to keep going.
He did come to a stop there at the top of the track.
Caution was already out at that point, though. Yeah. And as soon as his rear end hit the outside wall, it's very sensitive. We have some tracks where we have 3 cars go off and iRacing won't do anything. But this here, Nick Adams barely touches the outside wall and they throw a caution for it. And he was able to keep going. His car wasn't even damaged.
And we continue to ride under caution here.
Well, they're about to come across lap 80 here. We had a good race to start out with, but I think we're coming towards the end here. Everybody's getting angsty. Everybody wants to get every position that they can. And as you can see, Nick missed his brake zone, had to slam it, which then turned his rear end sideways, locked her up, and that's all she wrote for him.
And right now, I agree what you say, that Sean Carmody's been so fast, especially in these initial laps and on these restarts, that I think these guys are trying to push just a little bit too hard to try to get up there with them. Now, know that we've got just behind Sean Carmody and Josh Last and John Gordon. I don't know, has Chris Oliver pitted? Yes, Chris Oliver's pitted. Blake Ziti and Carl Henderson. Now, as you say, everybody else is pitted at this point, but these guys are on fresh tires within these last 50 laps. So these fresh tires, if they matter a lot, we're about to see it, because you're going to have John Gordon got, his pit lap was 56. Chris Oliver was at 49. But then you got Blake Ziti at 62, and you got Carl Henderson at 64. And I think at this point, if you're the 40 and the 18, you've kind of almost built your, dug your grave here. I don't think you can really pit.
No, with all these caution laps, they're not pitting. Like you said, they dug their graves. They're in. Sean Carmody, I think if he just continues to do what he does and gets a great jump there, it's his race. He just cannot make a mistake on those braking zones to let anybody close to him after that.
You guys ride around under caution. 18 laps to go here, Martinsville Speedway. Pace cars, lights are off. It'll duck off the track this lap, and we will go back green flag racing once again. Last two cautions, though, partner. It has come from guys spinning on this restart. Pace car is off.
You got 16 laps to go when they hit the green or the start finish line.
And great jump again by Sean Carmody. Josh Lassen, though, he's able to keep it under line as they go. And right there, you see, looks like we're going to be good to go. John Gordon, he's making a move here on the inside. Oh, the 410. John Gordon, though, also spins. He's going to catch the 6, the 8. The 30 made it through. 75 had to slam on the brakes. Big wreck there.
Yeah, both Christopher Oliver and John Gordon both smacked the wall at the exact same time, but it was more violent for John Gordon. He got spun around there. Christopher Oliver was able to save it and continue on.
Yeah, Chris Oliver, and he does touch him just, with the tip of his nose there. Was Chris able to get through that? The second time, though, as we've seen Tim St. Jean, he slams the wall. 31 gets through. Tim St. Jean, he's going to tap the wall. And, yeah, Chris Oliver was able to get through. Not much damage, but a little bit of damage.
Yeah, Timothy St. Jean just barely tapped his right rear there as they spun around. Timothy St. Jean almost made it through there safely, but John Gordon clipped him, which turned him around.
Here we go. 15 laps right now to go. As we're under caution once again here at Martinsville. David Wright able to get another wave around. I believe that will put him on the lead lap, partner.
Yes, he is showing on the lead lap right now. In 12th place, Cody Leland's in 11th. Sean Carmody, though, still up there, led every single lap so far. Has not been in, led from the pole. It's his race to lose. We're going to be at lap 86, probably running around 3 or 4 more laps here underneath caution. So we'll probably go green with 10 laps to go. But will we get 10 green flag laps?
And if we do, are these two up front sitting ducks for these guys just behind them with, again, fresh tires, way fresher tires for Blake Ziti and Carl Henderson?
I think what's going to make the biggest difference here is the launch. If Sean Carmody and Josh Laston can get a good launch off of it, it's game over. But if somehow Blake Ziti can time it with Sean Carmody, which I don't think they're going to. I mean, they might want to work together as a team to get Josh Laston out of the way because they're 1-3. And, you warn them saying, hey, 3, 2, 1, go. You go on 1, I'm going to go and go. So we're going to be launching at basically the exact same time. Then maybe, that's one strategy there to make sure Josh Laston kind of gets pushed to the back. And that also Carl Henderson does not squeeze in between.
Yeah, absolutely. They could get both CCR guys right here. But just behind them, you've got Chris Oliver and you've got Nick Adams on that low line. So CCR with CCR help there.
Yep. We have to see, man. We're going to be coming to go. We're lap 89 right now. They're not lined up yet. Or now they're lined up double file here. So they're on the back stretch. We're about to go green at lap number 90 here. They'll be coming to the line.
I think
we got 10 flags.
Got us going green on lap 89. And there you go. Quick jump by the number 40. That's going to get him out front. Here comes his teammate. He's looking on the inside of the 18.
18. Oh, number 50 locks up the brakes, hits Josh Laston.
Oh,
everybody goes around.
Cleared the entire CCR team, and they're still wrecking back there. Oh, I'm going to steal my teammate's word there. Holy schmoly.
Yeah, he just locks up the brakes there, hits Josh Laston, stacks up the field. Nick Adams, Carl Henderson, Christopher Oliver, while they're trying to get back straight, gets hit. Cody Leland stops, and Joshua Mays comes in behind and rear ends him.
Yeah, he drove that deep into that corner and couldn't get that car stopped. As you see, I mean, just locking up the brakes, and that put him into Josh Laston, and it just clustered up the entire field. It's going to make some drivers not happy there.
No, it will not.
I don't think Blake Potts is going to come out of here a driver favorite, I should say.
Within the CCR camp, not at all.
No. Ooh, that's going to upset some folk. Wow. As we see now, Blake Ziti, but Carl Henderson just behind him. Nick Adams just behind him. A little bit of damaged cars, though. But
I think the podcast tomorrow night is going to be spicy. If you guys want to hear their thoughts, most of these guys right there that were involved in the last incident is part of the Ghostfire media, and we'll be on the podcast to talk about this race tomorrow night. So you're going to hear the raw thoughts of what's going on. Probably a lot of alcohol is going to be involved in this as well, discussion.
I'm glad I'm starting to feel better. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to be taking all my vitamin C and everything tonight because I might have to have a drink for this one. This could be a like you said, a spicy one, man. It should make for an interesting talk. I think we're just going to introduce it when we sit down. I'm Larry Patrick. Welcome to my TED Talk because it's going to be interesting tomorrow night.
I don't even know if we're going to make it to any other series within the AOLL.
We might not, Which it might not be a bad thing. I mean, Cup was off and everything else, so I'm just saying. But nah, I mean, we're gonna discuss. We'll figure out who the drivers are to invite tonight. So we'll be good to go. 7 laps to go right now. Pace car still on the track. The field's starting to line back up, and as you see, the 14 Chris Oliver was waiting to get that wave around. He now gets it. Pace lights are off on the car, and we're about to go green flag racing here. It looks like with 5 laps to go. Your leader, Sean Carmody's led every lap so far. Blake Ziti just on the outside of him, with Carl Henderson in 3rd, Nick Adams in 4th. Pace car is off. Can Sean get another jump like he has all night? And he does. Great jump by Sean Carmody. That's going to allow the 50 of Blake Ziti to get down. Carl Henderson, he's running in third. Nick Adams, he's able to get down there to get in fourth. Can these guys make a run here at Sean Carmody on these fresh tires?
Yeah, and a little bit further in the back on that first corner, Phil Manzo ran it a little bit deeper and almost got Timothy St. Jean. He was able to collect it. Now he's slapping the wall going down the front straight. He's sideways in the middle of 1 and 2. Slaps it. Caution does not come out. He's able to straighten him back up and keep going.
And our leader, Sean Carmody, he's out to about a second gap between he and Blake Ziti. Really setting sail already. Blake Ziti, he's running in second. He's got about a half a second gap here on Carl Henderson. And then about another half a second back to Nick Adams.
Timothy St. Jean's on the inside of Nick Adams right there for a third or fourth, excuse me.
Nick Adams sideways.
He is turned completely sideways.
And
we have
caution's
a caution.
back out.
We get a caution for that one, but not Philip Manzo. iRacing is in love with Nick Adams.
Nick spins back around.
Commentator's curse. We talked about him. He spun.
I hope he watches this one. That one was a funny one. We were on that one. We'll go back. As my system tells me, he wrecked again. We take a look here. As he heads into turn 3, he just gets loose going in there into 3. Tries to save it, but it whips back around. But by that time, the caution had already come out. That's going to set us up for a green-white checker. Sean Carmody has led every lap here tonight, and you take a look at that field. There's some beat-up cars in there, partner.
Yes, there is.
Know, though, that short track racing, we're not too worried about aerodynamics here. That will not affect these cars. Could affect the handling, but you probably won't see too big of an issue out of them. Excuse me. We are setting up for a green-white checker here in the AOLL Guitar Addict TNT Series.
Oh, these guys are going to put on a heck of a show here for everybody else but us in the broadcast booth.
Absolutely.
And see, will Carl Henderson be able to time this? So right now, the front row for the last at least 6 restarts we've had, the front row is able to clear the second row, but at the beginning of the race, so the number 3 had the advantage. Now it's 1 and 2 has the advantage over 3 and 4. So will Carl Henderson see where Sean's been going lately and be able to time it and jump with him so Blake Ziti has no room and get him pinched on the outside and get by him? Or at least race side by side, door to door, lug nut to lug nut, going in to 1 and 2, 3 and 4.
Yeah, if I was Carl Henderson and I was, hopefully if he was paying attention, Sean Carmody's almost been going at the exact same point, leaving turn 4. I would chance that. I would take that chance of having to hit the gas and then smack back on those brakes, because he has been going at that, exact same point every time.
Yeah, the hard part is Carl's car is not pointed straight at that time. Sean's is. And so is Blake's. So it's just hard to slam the gas, spin the wheels, and not hook a left because your wheel's kind of still pointing a little bit more left trying to come off that corner.
Absolutely. Here we go. And the 40 goes at the exact same point once again. That's going to allow the 50 to get down in front of Carl Henderson. 2 laps to go. As we go into turn 1, they come out of turn 2. Sean Carmody has a little bit of a gap there. But here comes the 19, but wreck, and that should bring the caution back out. And it does. That'll be it. That is it.
Sean Carmody was able to get a good launch along with Blake Zede. Carl Henderson sitting in third. Right now, fourth is looking at Timothy St. Jean. Fifth was John Gordon. They were having a good side-by-side battle right there. Cody Leland makes his way back up after all those wrecks. He's up in the sixth. Josh Laston's in seventh. Nick Adams is now in eighth. Hitman Phil Manzo's in ninth. 10th is Christopher Oliver. And 11th is David Wright. He's the last one on the lead lap.
That is it. That will do it for here tonight. Your winner, Sean Carmody. As these guys riding around here, they can pass the pace car. I'm sure they just are more nervous too than anything at this point. And there goes Sean Carmody. We should go around and see a burnout from him. Endeavor grabbing 1-2 here tonight.
1, 2, and 4.
Well, that's a pretty good night for them.
And Josh Mays is their other teammate. He finished 13th. He did not have a good night.
No, but as you see, the 40 burning them down as he slams the wall there and pumps it up, and he's gonna smoke this tire. I think he's trying to go ahead and get that motor to tank.
And there comes Blake Zede.
Blake Pasta comes in and tanks the side of him. So with that, let's go ahead. Let's talk to our winner and Sean Carmody. Hey, Sean, it's Larry and Adam in the booth, man. Got a copy?
Copy, guys. Gotcha.
Hey, man, killer race from you here tonight, man. Led it from green flag to checker. How's it feel to get the win?
Oh, it felt great. You know, I got the pole and then led every lap. I wasn't expecting that. I knew my teammate and a few other guys had fresh tires behind me. But I was putting in solid laps, and I knew if he was going to go around me, it was definitely going to be on the outside, and it wasn't going to make it easy for anyone.
Oh, man, you put on a heck of a race, man. You got the pole, you led every lap. You were able to get a great launch every single time. I didn't know, we didn't know up here in the booth if you're actually working with your teammate there on those last like 5 or 6 handfuls when he either started on the outside or started behind you, trying to give him a little bit of a warning when you're going to go. Not too much of a warning, but just something so he can help your teammate out.
No, actually, he was talking a whole bunch of smack, so he didn't get help whatsoever. I knew he had tires, and he was telling me that he had something lined up for me in the last turn, whether it was going to be a T-bone or not. But we live local. I know where he lives, so I would have been over there in about 15 minutes.
Gotcha.
and that's how we find out that they no longer are teammates after they get into a fist fight, in the middle of the street.
Yeah, no, it's all good. If anyone it would have been clean, hard racing. I know that, but I was actually surprised I led so many laps. I hopped into practice a little late, and guys were turning some really quick laps. I was surprised to see the pole, and then I just stayed consistent, hit my marks, and brought it home.
Yeah, man, it was awesome race out there tonight. Definitely a lot cleaner race there at the beginning than there was at the end. With all those green flag laps that you guys were getting, did you think it was going to be a majority green race here tonight?
I actually didn't know what to do for pit-wise. I was banking on, after the first green stretch, we went like 30, 40 laps. I was hoping that we were going to remain clean like that, but it looked like once everybody got bunched up, you had guys in the rear with fresh tires, guys in the front that wanted track position. And it looks like they were doing anything and everything to get up front. So about every 2 laps, I saw somebody spinning in my rearview mirror. And I knew I had old tires. I figured if I let them cool down and just played the inside, I would have been okay. And luckily I was.
Yeah, man. I mean, you had old tires, but I mean, you made every restart count. You didn't spin the tires. You didn't lose. I mean, we saw some other people behind you on the restarts kind of get loose or they missed a braking point. But I mean, you were spot on almost every single lap going through there. You never made a mistake. You never bobbled. You started from the pole at every lap, and that's how you do it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was really focusing on grabbing third gear early and clearing the guy on the outside so I could get up there because I knew if he got a run on me on the outside, it was going to be tight. But, yeah, the restarts were a big point today, and it's a hard track to pass on, so I'm lucky I got the pole on this one.
Yeah, man, it was a great race from you here tonight, man, and we look forward to watching you next week. You guys are at... I'm assuming nobody knows, so I'm just going to have to look it up. Give me 1 second. Half a second. Blake's probably already put it in the comments.
Talladega.
Oh.
They are at Talladega.
Talladega, man. How you feel about that?
I'm a short track guy. I like wheeling the car. Talladega is going to be one of those. It's going to be closed circuit, and it's going to be Endeavor, and we're going to be single file line for however many laps it is. I hope we can mix it up a little bit, but I have a feeling it's just going to be a train race.
Yeah, man. Well, good luck to you next week, man, and congratulations again on the win.
Appreciate that, guys. Take care. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and I can't remember the last time we got to talk to the Pasta, so let's bring in Blake Pasta.
You missed him on the podcast.
I did. Hey, Blake, it's Larry and Adam in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey,
how's everything?
Man. What? Enjoyed the race, man. You look good out there, second place, man. Tell us about it, man. How's it feel?
I'm a little disappointed in myself, just because the incident with me and Josh at lap 90. I really feel that I maybe wasn't really deserved. So I'm kind of bummed. I'm sure the admins will take a look at it, but I mean, the whole race was a challenge. So I know throughout the whole race I was doing pretty good, and I'm happy about that. I kind of wish I had those last lap or two to make a run on Sean. I told the whole team that if it came down to it, I'm taking him and I out, and that would have been the end of it. No.
I got you, man. I mean, you ran strong all night. I mean, there's a little bit of bumping there. What happened with the one corner? I think it was probably about halfway through the race, kind of right where the cautions kind of just started coming out. Looked like you got right after a restart, you got in the back of Carl. Carl kind of got lost a little bit and came back around. The same thing happened going in turn 3.
Yeah, it was like a carbon copy. And I said something to Carl, and I know he didn't mean it, but in the heat of the moment, and I was like, yeah, you got me good, but I didn't, I went around, and I told him, like, when I made contact with him, he saved it, or, I didn't get him good enough, but it's a tough track, man. It's a one-line track, and just an inch further on the gas, and that's all it really takes. So, I know it's no one's intention. It's just that track. It really formulates that type of racing. No one's intention is to clean anybody out, but man, it's a bummer when, again, I like to race clean, and it didn't look so good on my end.
Yeah, I mean, Martinsville's a fast pace, especially on the restarts. Everybody's trying to get everything they can, and riding behind somebody, and you're paying attention to so many different factors. The guy on the outside, the guy in front of you, the guy behind you. You don't want to get ran over. You don't want to run the guy over in front of you. You don't want the outside guy to jump in front of you. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things that go on within that. So, completely understandable. Yeah. Sometimes you do miss that break point and just slide the tires to get into the guy in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when everyone, I mean, if you look at the qualifying, we're also very close. I mean, it could have been anybody's race. So, yeah, it definitely, it's tough when you're trying to, go that extra bit to to make the guy know you're there, and boom, you're in his door. So I know that after I got into Josh, Carl also got into the rear end of me, and it kind of made it even a little worse. So it just piled everyone up behind us. So just that's the only thing I'm really bummed about. Everything else was good though.
So I got to say something real quick, man, before we let you go. Kind of like you were saying that you had told your team that if you could get up to Sean, you were either taking him out or you were taking you both out. Now, he did mention that, and he also said that if you did, you don't live far from him, man. He was going to meet up with you in the middle of the street. I got to know, who wins that fist fight?
Oh man, he's good in a headlock. He's going out for the count. He knows it too.
He did say you were talking too much smack, and by you talking too much smack, he wasn't helping you out on the restarts of calling when he was going to go or nothing.
No. He knew. I could tell that he was pushing it too. He's got he's on these old tires and he's pulling away from him. I'm like, well, something's working out, or I pissed him off or something. He just. He was going away from me when we did have those clean racing, and I'm like, that last yellow was my only chance. And I really thought with the last 2 laps, with the last run, I maybe had him. But we'll never know now.
Absolutely, man. Well, it was awesome racing, man, and we look forward to Talladega next week.
Absolutely, guys. Hey, thanks for everything. You guys are doing a great job.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Well, Adam, let's go ahead. Let's bring up the results, which I am updating my iPad like an idiot before I finish this. So let's get the results because I use the Stream Deck now, so I'm not used to mashing buttons. All right, your winner, Sean Carmody, just followed closely behind by Blake Ziti. Carl Henderson in third, and fourth, Tim St. Jean. Fifth, Cody Leland. Sixth, Josh Lassen. And seventh, Nick Adams. Eighth, Philip Manzo. In ninth, Chris Oliver. 10th, David Wright. And 11th, John Gordon. 12th, David DeParis. And 13th, Joshua Mays. And 14th, Tom Stevens. I want to point out real quick, partner, we've seen David Wright. He was at one point running there in 13th. I believe 4 laps down, but with the caution, staying clean, he was able to work his way back to the lead lap there and actually pick up a couple positions.
Yeah, man, he's out there throwing down some major practice laps trying to do that, trying to run clean, trying to run up front. And that's his goal, and he's showing it. And he got in some trouble up there earlier. Not his fault. It just, bad luck of where he was at on the track and got into some wrecks. So, which puts you in the pits. And here in Martinsville, you get put in the pits when you're at the back of the pack. You go laps down, and he was able to recover there and pick up a few spots.
Absolutely, man. Well, it was a great race here at Martinsville. And again, these guys will be back next Thursday night. Same time, same place. This time, they'll be at Talladega Motor Speedway. Super Speedway, excuse me.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I mean, I missed the last Daytona race. Actually, I'm probably going to miss next week. I'll be on vacation next week. It'll be you and Randy here. I'll be enjoying time with the family in North Carolina.
Oh, so you'll be at my house calling the race?
No, I'll be at my house about 30 minutes from you.
Hey, and then so tomorrow night, the podcast is back. We will be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talk about everything that happened tonight, last night, and Tuesday night. And look forward to Sunday night there at Charlotte as the Cup guys right now out practicing.
Yes, they are. All right. Well, I had a blast tonight for the most part. It was great racing in the beginning, a little bit of a little hiccup for the rest of the race. But, the fans got to see some action, got to see some bumping, got to see some typical Martinsville Speedway bumping and banging and a few cautions here and there sprinkled in. So, like Denny Hamlin says, just short track racing. So, from all the folks here at Ghostfire Media, we appreciate you coming out and watching and commenting. We really appreciate that. And we'll see you tomorrow night on the podcast if you show up, which you will. We know you will. So we'll see you tomorrow night. And have a good night from all of us at Ghostfire Media. I'm Adam. That's Larry.